How's it going, ladies and gents, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Brexer and I create content, anything Yu-Gi-Oh and everything Yu-Gi-Oh. Today we are gonna talk about a lot of news and information in the TCG and OCG field. First off, OCG has released a ton of cards since our last YugiOh news, and of course, in that sense, TCG has also released their upcoming set or contents for the Legendary Duelist Season 3. So without further ado, let's get into a browser and talk about these cards. So first off, we are gonna talk about these Ruas Box Continuous Spell cards. So we have two cards right here, and this is gonna be released in the Animation Chronicles 2022. So first card we have Gadget Box. So this is a continuous spell card, which states two effects. When this card dissolves, place 3 morph counters on it. Second effect, once per turn, you can remove 1 morph counter from your field, and if you do, spell summon 1 Gadget Box token that is a Machine Earth level 1 with 0 attack and 0 defense. You cannot spell summon monsters from the extra deck while this tokens is on the field, except Synchrons. So that's that. Next card and the last, we have Toolbox. So this is also a continuous spell card. Its effect states, if you control a monster, you can reveal 2 equipped spells with different names from your deck. And if you do, your opponent randomly picks one for you and add it to your hand. Also place the other one to the bottom of the deck. That's pretty good. Nevertheless, let's move on. So next we have here is the new set that's going to be coming out in OCG. So we have the Castrilla. So first we have the Castrilla Fenrir. So its effect states that, so this is a level 7 monster, right? So its effect states, if you control no monsters, you can spell summon this card from your hand. That's pretty good. During your main phase, you can add 1 Castrilla monster from your deck to your hand. Pretty good, a good searcher. Third effect, when this card declares an attack, or if your opponent activates a monster effect, you can target 1 face-up card your opponent controls, banish it face down. That is pretty good. Next, we have Castrilla Unicorn. So level 7 wind psychic monster. Effect states, if you control no monsters, you can spell summon this card from your hand, same as the other one. Second effect, during your main phase, you can add 1 Castrilla spell from your deck to your hand. And last effect, when this card declares an attack, or if your opponent activates a monster effect, you can look at your opponent's extra deck and banish 1 monster from it face down. That's pretty good, just taking away their boss monsters from the extra deck. Next, we have Castrilla Ogre. So level 7 water psychic monster. Effect states, if you control no monsters, same as the other two. Second effect, during your main phase, you can add 1 Castrilla trap from your deck to your hand. Okay. When this card declares an attack, or if your opponent activates a monster effect, you can excavate the top 5 cards of your opponent's deck, and if you do, banish 1 of them face down. Also place the rest of them in the same order. So that is pretty good. Just you're basically knowing what the cards your opponent is gonna draw next. And next we have an XZ monster, which is rank 7 fire psychic monster. So this monster needs 2+ level 7 monsters. Effect states, during each standby phase, you can summon 1 Castrilla monster from your deck. That is pretty good. Next effect, each time your opponent's cards is banished face down, you can choose 1 unused monster zone or spell and trap zone. It cannot be used while this card is on the field. So that is just pretty good. It's kind of like round collapse, but instead of 2, you got 1. But nevertheless, that is still a good effect. Third effect, if this card would be destroyed with battle or by card effect, you can detach 1 material from this card instead. That is good. Now we're moving towards the magic or the spell cards and the traps. So we have Decline Scareclaw. This is a Scareclaw support. So target 1 primitive planet Reichophobia you control or in your graveyard, return it to your hand. And if you do control Abyss of Starfrost, you can change 1 face-up monster your opponent controls to face-down defense position. That's pretty good. Second, if there are 3 or more defense position monsters on the field, you can banish this card from your graveyard, add 1 Scareclaw card from your graveyard to your hand. Okay, pretty much a basic support card. Next, we have here the Castrilla Birth. So this is a continuous spell card. First effect, you can normal summon level 7 monsters without tributing. This doesn't state just for Castrilla in general, so it's a generic effect. You can use other level 7s if you want. Second effect, during your main phase, you can spell summon one of your non-exe Castrilla monsters that is banished or in your graveyard. That is just pretty good. And last effect, if your opponent activates a spell or effect of your and you control a Castrilla monster, you can target 3 cards in your opponent's graveyard, banish them face down. So basically, all the effects for this card is just really good. Having you to normal summon level 7 monsters without tributing, and of course special summoning your Castrilla monsters from the grave to your side of the field. That is whack. First off, Scarecrow Twin Saw. Effects are tribute 1 Scarecrow monster, then target 2 cards on your opponent controls, destroy them. And if you do, control Abyss of Starfrost, banish them. Alright? Second effect, if there is a Link 3 or higher monster in the field, you can banish this card from your graveyard. Link monsters in the field cannot activate their effects this turn. So I'm not sure if this is going to affect you or not, but it's just very generic. So basically, it's going to affect you as well. Next we have here is a Castrilla Prepare. So continuous trap card, effect states during either player's turn, you can special summon 1 Castrilla monster that is banished or in your hand. That's pretty good. Second effect, if your opponent activates a trap card or effect while this card is face up on the spell and trap zone, you control a Castrilla monster. That's a pretty long requirement. Nevertheless, yeah, you can look at your opponent's hand and banish 1 card from it face down. So this is basically the Castrilla archetype effect. So just banishing cards from your opponent's side. So that's that. So basically, guys, I'm just gonna move through OCG first and then go to TCG later on. So first and foremost, we have Dragon Nails. So this is an equipped spell. So the monster equipped with this card gains 600 attack. Also, it can be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. Pretty good. Second effect, if this card is sent to the graveyard because the monster it was equipped to was destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, you can spell summon that monster to your side of the field. And if you do, equip this card to it. Banish it when it leaves the field. Or banish this card when it leaves the field. Next, we have Thunderball. A Dark Fiend level 3. So effect state, at the end of the damage step, you can spell summon this card from your hand. Second effect, if you can send 1 trap card from your hand or from among face-down cards you control to the graveyard. Destroy all monsters in its card column. Okay, doesn't state face up or face down. Third effect, if this card in the monster zone is destroyed by battle or recurred effect and sent to the graveyard, you can target 1 card in your graveyard, roll a 6-sided die, and if the result is 6, add that card to your hand. Alright, that's not really the best, but yeah. And last 2 cards we have here, the Requiem Duel or Battle of the Sleeping Spirits. Effect states, each player can spell summon 1 of their monsters that were destroyed by battle this turn from their own graveyard in attack position. If you spell summon Elemental Hero Neos with this effect during this turn, when it battles an opponent's monster, its attack is double during the damage step only. So it's pretty good, and it is also a quick play card. And lastly, we have Morthronic Impact Return. I don't know how to spell that one, but I think it's Morthronic. 2 effects states target up to 2 spell traps in your opponent's control. Shuffle 1 Morthronic monster from your hand into the deck, and if you do, shuffle that card into the deck. Okay, I'm just laughing because of the word. So last effect, you can banish this card from your graveyard, then target 1 Morthronic monster in your graveyard or among your banished card spells, summon it in defense position. That's pretty good. But yeah, funny name. So yeah, last 2 information for the OCG, and we'll move on to TCG later on. So Naturia, they are gonna get their supports. That's pretty good. So anyone who actually loved the Naturia archetype since way back, these are your time to get the whole of your Naturia deck back in play. So hopefully these cards are good. So let's start off with Naturia Mole Cricket. So it's a level 1 Earth Insect monster. So effects states, during the main phase, this is a quick effect. You contribute this card, spell summon 1 Naturia monster from your deck. If your opponent controls a face-up monster with the highest attack on the field, you can special summon 2. That's pretty good. Next effect, if your opponent special summons a monster from the extra deck, or you special summon a Naturia monster from the extra deck while this card is in your graveyard, you can special summon this card. That's pretty good. Next we have Naturia Camellia. So level 4 Earth Plant effect. 3 effects states if this card is normal or special summon, you can send one Naturia card from your deck to the graveyard. Second effect, if you would tribute a monster to activate a Naturia monster's effect, you can send the top 2 cards of your deck to the graveyard. Alright? And lastly, if your opponent normal or spell summons a monster, you can spell summon one Naturia monster from your graveyard. That is great. So next we have its quick play spell card. Effect states, activate one of these effects. So first, special summon one Naturia monster from your hand to the graveyard. Okay. Immediately after this effect resolves, synchro summon using monsters you control, including at least one Naturia monster. Okay, a good synchro support for Naturia. And then, there's also a fusion effect. So fusion summon one fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters you control as fusion materials, including at least one Naturia monster. So that is basically all the cards that's going to be in this set. That's pretty good. Next and last information for the OCG, we have here Vernalizer Fairies. So this is another archetype that has been introduced in Konami. So first off, we have Vernalizer Fairy Goddess. So level 8 Fairy Earth Monster. Effect state, you can target one face-up monster your opponent controls, take control of it, and if you do, it becomes an Earth Monster. That's pretty good. That's basically a change of heart. Second effect, during your opponent's turn, quick effect, you can target one Earth Monster in your graveyard, special summon it. Okay? That is begin to be a good card. And last effect, once per turn while you control 5 or more Earth Monsters, you can negate any monster effects activated by your opponent, and if you do, destroy that monster. That's just pretty good. And it's easy to spell summon Earth Monsters to the side of the field, or even control monsters using your opponent's card. Wow, alright. Next card, we have Vernalizer Fairy of Seedlings and Haze. Level 3 Earth Monster. So we have here, you can discard this card and one other monster or Vernalizer Fairy card. Add one Fairy monster from your deck to your hand except Vernalizer Fairy of Seedlings and Haze. Then you can spell summon one Earth monster from your graveyard. Also, you cannot activate monster effects for the rest of the turn except Earth monsters. That's still a viable effect. Last effect, all monsters on the field lose 600 attack except Vernalizer Fairy monsters. That's still good. So last card, we have their field spell, which is the Flower Bloom of the Vernalizer Fairy. Effect state, all monsters you control gain 1000 attack while you control 5 or more Earth monsters. Okay, you can banish one Vernalizer Fairy and Flower Buds from your hand to the graveyard. Special summon one Vera, the Vernalizer Fairy Goddess, from your deck. Okay. Ooh, so never mind on the level 8. You can just special summon this using this card. Right. So, last effect, if a Vernalizer Fairy monster is special summoned from your graveyard, you can target one monster on the field or in either graveyard, return it to the hand. Wow. That is just outstanding. So these are all the OCG cards that's going to be released later on for this specific set. I think we didn't skip anything, right? So we didn't really skip anything. So that is the OCG, guys, and the part 2 for the TCG YugiOh news will be coming out shortly. So skip through that.